this question which is asked in GATE 2016 paper. The size of the data count register of a DMA controller is 16 bits. Okay, this is 16 bits. Now, the processor needs to transfer a file of 29,154 kilobytes, kilo means 2 to the power of 10 bytes, from disk to main memory. Yes, we understood. The memory is byte addressable, fine. The minimum number of times the DMA controller needs to, minimum number of times, you remember that, okay? So, the controller needs to get the control of the system bus. You know one thing, right? Example, let's say you have 500 bytes of data to transfer. The minimum number of times we need a bus to get the control is only one time. Why? Simple. Your CPU will load this count register with 500 value. Okay, and necessary details will be given to you. Okay, then you will be transferring the data. Further, you will be asking the system bus. You will be taking the control over this bus, right? So one time is enough. Sir, why one time? Why not 2 times, 3 times? See, the question is about minimum number of times. If I use burst mode, so at a time, entire data I can transfer. Whatever the data I have, I can transfer, right? Sir, if that is a question, then for this also answer should be 1. No. The reason, we have fuse file, right? 29,154 into 2 port 10 bytes. Your CPU cannot mention that in your DMA controller because the count register has a limitation of only storing 16-bit data. So what is the maximum data size you can store is, see, if you write 500 here, then DMA controller understand that data to be transferred 500 bytes. But maximum I can write 2 to the power of 16, right? Minus 1 approximately. Exactly 2 to the power 16 minus 1, but approximately 2 to the power of 16 is the highest value we can write. So if I write it only at most to 2 to the power 16, then that means what? 2 to the power of 16 bytes. That means what? That is a trick here. Only 2 to the power of 16 bytes at a time we can transfer because the count register can accommodate only that capacity, right? That's the only, you can mention only that size. So now we have a huge file which is greater than 2 to the power 16, correct? Then what we do is, first of all we transfer 2 to the power of 16 bytes of data using burst transfer. Then later we'll say CPU, my dear CPU, reinitialize this. In that way, it has to reinitialize so many times. Example, you have 2 into 2 to the power 16 bytes of data. Then 2 times we need a control over the bus, right? So it's all about how many 2 to the power of 16s you have. That's why you divide your file size 29,154. This is your capacity into 2 power 10. Because of the limitation of your count register, at a time only 2 to the power of 16 bytes can be transferred. But you have 29,154 into 2 power 10 bytes. Then how many times we have to reinitialize this one? So that many times we will be freshly taking the control over the bus, right? So probably that is what the question, by understanding the question. So that is the best way we can understand it, right? So if you simplify it, 2 power 10, 2 power 6, right? So it would be 29,154 by 64, right? If I divide 232s are 2, 14, 28, 1, 2, 5s are 10, 1, 15, 2, 7s are 14 and 2, 7s are 14, right? It would be 14,577 by 32. If I divide it, it would be probably 32 4s are 128, right? So 32 4s are 128. How much you get? If you see 32 4s are 128, it's just we can do like this: 1 4 5 7 7. It's all about simplification. 32 4s are 128. 15 minus 8 7. 3 minus 2 1. Right? 17. 177. 32 5s are 160. That would be the right number. Then it would be 17, then again 177, it would be again 5, 13 5s are 160, you get this time 17 again, but digits are over, then we have to take point here, then it would be 170, 32 5s are 160, right? Almost 455.5 times. That means 455 times we have to take the control plus one more time, right? Approximately it would be 456. Right? Answer is 456. 455 full times. The last time the 0.5 means some few data will be there which is less than 2 power 16. Right? That will be final time. Let me ask one question. If you have 2 into 2 power 16 bytes of data plus some 5 more bytes. Then how many times we have to do that? For 1 2 power 16 one time, because you have 2 2 power 16s 2 times. Then for this 5 bytes one more time, 3, right? That's why here also 455 times plus this, because of this decimal point one more time, right? 456. Answer is 456.